Okay, so this is my last video of the day, and I am highly mad because I filmed this whole video and it didn't record right. So I'm doing this over again. The book that I'm going to be giving you a synopsis of is called The Mastery of Love, and it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. It is, as he would state, a practical guide to the art of relationships. Now, just to give you just a brief thing of what I think this book is about, it's about self-love. It's about learning how to love yourself, learning how to know yourself, learning how to accept yourself, faults and all. And then once you can do that and truly fall in love with yourself, then that makes you able to fall in love with other people and have loving and fulfilling relationships. Until you are able to come to that point in your life, then you are going to experience a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, and a lot of disappointment, because what he says is that certain things that we put into other people's hands and make them responsible for, such as our happiness, or such as making us feel loved, are things that we should do for ourselves. So I'm just going to go over some more key points because I'm kind of talking off the top of my head. And then let's see. Another thing that I got out of this book was the fact that perfection. We all have this view in our life of what a perfect life or a perfect person should look like, whether it be imposing those standards onto ourselves or onto others. We need to realize, number one, that we are not perfect, and the sooner that we can realize that and move on, the sooner that we're able to have a more fulfilling life, and then to recognize that other people are not perfect either, and just see life for what it is. And when you see life for what it is, you learn to accept yourself and you learn to accept other people. You learn to know, okay, I made a mistake, and not beat yourself up if you make a mistake, because humans make mistakes. You make the mistake, you know you made it, and you move on. You don't punish yourself 1,000 times for something that you did wrong once when you were 21 years old. And that goes for other people that you choose to have in your life. If you choose to have somebody in your life, whether it be your mother or whoever, and they made a mistake, they don't need to pay for it for the rest of their life. If you want to have them in your life, you need to choose to forgive them. And if you choose to forgive them, then you need to move on and realize that they also made mistakes. And maybe you make them pay for it once, but every 5, 10, 15 minutes, every hour, every time you get in a fight, every time you get sad or you see something on TV, you don't take it out on that person if you've already forgiven them and you guys are moving on. Another point about this book that I like was that it kind of talked about, especially when you're young, this is very, very important. You need to know that the person that you see in front of you is the person that you need to choose to love, whether it be your boyfriend or friend or whoever. And if the person right there at that moment is not somebody that you love, then you need to let them go. You don't need to hang on to your fantasy of what you think this person could be, or what you think a mother should be, or anything like that. If there are people in your life and you put conditions on them and you can't love them for who they are, and you are always looking for who they could be or trying to change them, then you don't respect the person and you don't actually love the person. You are putting conditions on them, and if you can't accept them for who they are, then you need to move on, because there are going to be instances, if you choose to act the opposite of that, where you keep people in your life because of what you think they'll be, and they'll never be that. Maybe they'll never be that, and then you're going to be very disappointed and very sad and very mad, and then you even can get to the point where you guys have been together because now you think you have to be together, or you have to stick it out with your mom, or you have to be friends. When if you make a decision early on in your life that if you choose to love somebody, you love them for who they are, and you don't try to change them, then you start to build relationships with people or cut ties with people and not have as much pain and heartache. Let's see, another good point in this book was, we already talked about being responsibility for loving yourself and your own happiness. if you are at a point in your life where you are not happy with who you are, he does talk about the fact that you need to do little things, rituals he calls them, in your life to practice self-love so that you do start to learn to love yourself. And it can be as simple as maybe exercising, or maybe being alone, maybe having a cup of coffee, just doing things to start to change the things about yourself that you don't like, so that you do start to love yourself. And that way, when you do start to love yourself, you can grow and you can act out of love, and then you can form relationships with other people that are about love. So self-rituals are rituals to get you toward loving yourself. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you two absolutely love each other and you don't want to start all over because you two know that you really love each other and you want to make it work, then the first step to getting to the relationship that you want, which is love and fun and caring and not pain, and not having any pain, is to forgive. And forgiving for everybody is hard. We always say that we forgive somebody when really we don't. We forgive you until, or we forgive you if, or we forgive you but we're going to hold you at an arm's length. That's not forgiveness. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you do want to move toward a better relationship, transcend to a higher relationship, then you really truly need to forgive. And when you forgive, you cut off ties with the past and you start all over fresh, anew, period. Then when you do that, that doesn't mean that somebody's getting over or on you, or this person got away with something, or they're going to see you as weak. No, when you forgive, you're doing it for yourself. You're giving your body and your soul an opportunity to form a scar. So your body knows it's been hurt. It has a scar, but it doesn't hurt anymore. And once you let your body and your soul do that, once again, you get rid of some of the negative feelings that are pushing out, that are taking up room that could be taken up by loving feelings, which would then make your life a lot happier. He talked about everybody having garbage. So garbage meaning we all grew up in different ways. We all experience life differently. We all have different private thoughts in our head that nobody will ever know. And no one person will ever know us the same way another person knows us. So we all need to be 100% responsible for ourselves. Don't make somebody else responsible for your garbage. Don't take your garbage out on somebody else. And you know, they shouldn't vice versa do that to you. And once you become 100% responsible for yourself, then when you are dealing with somebody who's having some garbage going on, you're able to take a look at them from a more objective view instead of subjective, and know that some things you don't need to take personal because this person has their own mess and they're going through it. And when you can understand that about other people, that also helps you have a better loving relationship. Maybe you're walking down the street and somebody calls you a bad name. They might be going through something. You don't need to take that personal. You don't have to take that personal. This is another point. How you react to things that happen to you in your life is what's going to determine whether you are going to continue down the path of fear, loneliness, having unloving feelings, or if you're going to transcend and go the path of love, happiness, caring, blah, blah, blah. It's how you react to certain things in your life. I want to do minimal editing, so I'm just trying to make sure I hit the key points. I think that was mainly the key points to the book. So if you have any questions, just let me know and I can try to go more in depth about it. But basically this book is just about, really, if you want a chance at love in your life, the first thing that you need to do is love yourself. And once you can love yourself and learn how to be responsible for your own life, your own happiness, dealing with your own garbage, once you can do that, then you can go out into the world and you can find what you want because you know yourself. You won't settle for certain feelings of love or do things because you want to feel loved, or do things because you want to be accepted, because you've learned to accept yourself. And then when people are feeding you BS, you either can take it or you can leave it. And if you choose to take it, then you don't hold people accountable for it. You make a choice. That's what you want at that time. And if you don't want that, then you move on. Another thing, when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have thought this so much, but now that I'm older, you gotta know that love is not enough. Because people say, oh, but I love him, oh, I love him so much, or oh, I love her, or oh, this is my mom, I love her. We're human. We like the way love feels, especially when we don't love ourselves. We like the way it feels when we get that acceptance from other people. But the thing that you need to realize is that, oh, I love her, oh, I love him. There's billions of people in this world, and that's not the only person that you're gonna love. So love isn't enough. In order to have a healthy relationship with anybody, you don't have to be the same person. You don't have to have the same ideals. You don't even have to do things the same way, but you guys have to be working in a common direction together and accept each other and respect each other. And until you accept, and once you accept who that person really is and you choose to keep them, then you don't expect anything out of them. It's so hard because it's an everyday struggle, especially when you really start to know yourself. It's an everyday struggle to not make somebody else responsible for making you unhappy or happy, or even every day when you wake up to be happy with the person that you are. He doesn't say that it's easy, but you just have to realize that when you get to that point where you can love yourself, the good and bads, forgive yourself, forgive others, and either choose to accept them or move on, you do kind of look at life a little bit more objectively, and you don't take things as personally. And so you're able to do things because you love and care for somebody, and not necessarily because you feel obligated or you expect something in return. The book is a very easy read. You could probably read it in a couple of hours. So I know I'm leaving a lot out there. I could sit and talk about this book literally for 2 to 3 hours, but I want you to go and explore it for yourself if you're interested and see what you get out of it. There are some parts of the book that are new age. So if you are one that is not into that, I just kind of let that go over my head a little bit. I read it and I take what I can from the tale, but I'm not that type of person, so it can fly over my head and still get a very valuable lesson from this book. I used to do tons of book reviews on my blog because I'm more of a lifestyle type blogger, so sometimes I'm into skincare, makeup, books, finances, so that's what I tend to write about. I am trying to make my blog more well-rounded like it used to be, and so I want to start incorporating more book reviews. If you're not interested in these reviews, just go ahead and skip the videos because a lot of people do like these. And if you do choose to watch them, I hope that you do find some useful information in them, and I will continue to start incorporating these because I have a lot of books this year that I want to kind of share with you. And on that note, I do recommend this book. I think it is very important, especially if you are a young person starting to grow and find yourself in relationships, especially parents maybe, but I really think this is a good relationship for young people that are falling in love, or are going down the possibility of falling in love, or trying to just find out who they are. I think this is a very helpful book, and if you're able to apply the principles early in your life, I think it will save you a lot of pain and heartache if you're able to be honest with yourself and honest with the situations that you see in front of you, and make decisions based and not off of your ideals or what you hope things to be. And on that note, I'm going to stop the book review, and I will see you guys later. All right, bye.